Imagine climbing into a taxi on a humid Jakarta evening, only to realize you're sitting inside your own past. That's how Arif's strange story began, on a street washed in neon glare, where the city breathed like a restless animal and every honk seemed to tug at forgotten memories. He flagged down a blue sedan, slipped into the back seat, and exhaled. It had been a decade since he'd sold his first car, his pride, his freedom, and life had changed so much that he barely remembered its smell. The driver greeted him with a nod, tonight's monsoon breeze fluttering through the cracked window. Arif leaned back, restless from a long day. His fingers tapped the seat frame, tracing tiny scratches on the screw heads, until something caught his eye. A faint engraving. A number. His number. He froze. The plate number he once memorized like a lucky charm, the same digits and letters, etched into the screws holding the seat in place. "That's impossible," he whispered. Curiosity gnawed at him. He checked another screw and another. The same marking, like personal fingerprints tied to a memory he'd sworn he'd moved past. His pulse kicked. Was this really his car? The driver noticed his silence. "Everything okay, Pack?" Arif swallowed. "Where did you get this taxi?" "Oh, Fleet bought it used a few years back," the driver said. "Was told it had one owner before them. Someone kept it spotless." That detail stabbed Arif with recognition. He'd waxed it every Sunday, changed the oil before it was due, and scribbled little identifiers onto parts, just to feel like the machine was truly his. Suddenly, the hum of the engine felt familiar. The faint rattle in the left door, he remembered promising himself he'd fix that but never did. The worn spot beneath his arm, where he'd rested countless times in traffic, all of it was still there. He couldn't help it. He began to laugh. The driver peered at him through the mirror, confused. "This car," Arif murmured, running his hand across the fabric, "used to belong to me." The driver blinked, then smiled slowly, realizing the odd beauty of the moment. Jakarta's skyline blurred past, lights reflecting off windows like ripples in time. Arif felt strangely comforted. A piece of his past had somehow circled back, not as ownership, but as a reminder. Sometimes the world hands you things you think you've lost forever, not to reclaim them, but to see how far you've grown since you let them go. As he stepped out, he patted the door, whispered thanks, and walked away. Lighter, somehow, knowing part of his younger self still traveled through the city, carrying passengers toward their destinations. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow.